Are the Nuln Ironsides any good? Of course I was asked this, so I've strived to come up with an acceptable answer, starting with the usual stat dive to see what we can see. Recruited for 950 gold base and 238 upkeep. Easily reduced to some degree in campaign. This gets you 60 entities on Ultra with 6,240 health between them, with armor 60, much more than the usual handgunners. Leadership 65, speed 33, melee attack 32, which is shocking for a missile unit, and attack interval 4.3 like swordsmen and no splash damage. Melee defense is 26 to start, with weapon strength 28, the swordsman value, split between 21 base and 7 armor piercing. Charge bonus is 12 and mass is 100. For ranged, ammunition starts at 30, with range 145, and at this point let me bring up the handgunners for comparison. Missile damage is 31 on paper, with each projectile doing 5 base and 17 armor piercing. Why is the averaged damage so high? Because reload time starts at 7, really fast. Total accuracy starts at 20. Calibration distance is a very long 135 meters. Calibration area is a pinpoint 0.5, and with a small penetration cap and a max target's penned of 2, whereas handgunners get no penetration of that sort. Those last stats are important, because handgunners provide 50% more entities, but nearly double the reload delay. Therefore, what sets the Ironsides apart is accuracy. That doesn't always matter, I grant, but when sniping footlords it matters hugely. The passive ability of the Ironsides is Black Powder Discipline. This is triggered by remaining in the same spot for 10 seconds. So, the unit is simply not meant for hot pursuit. It is meant for digging in. When active, this ability grants plus 40 accuracy and plus 10 to the reload skill, which I don't have exact calculations for, but they'll reload faster. Recall, base on-paper reload time is already 7. In the redline skills, Pistol Core still grants plus 20% ammunition and plus 8% missile strength at 3 pips. Incidentally, it was 12% back in Warhammer 2. Sharpshooter grants rank 7 Ironsides plus 12% missile strength, 10% reload time reduction, and 15% missile resistance. In the tech tree, a couple of techs from the infantry line apply, such as State Troop Standards and State-issued infantry armor, the latter granting 15 armor and 10% missile resistance. The new version of mass-produced small ammunition provides plus 10 ammunition and minus 15% recruitment cost for all missile units. Trained Marksman grants 5% missile resistance more and plus 10% missile strength. Mounted weaponry doesn't apply here, but it is required to take rifled barrels, providing plus 10% range and 10% reload time reduction for missile units. So the formulas have changed a bit, but we have a lot of goodies available for the Ironsides. So how do you use them? Well, I raise this because of all the YouTube hatred I've seen for them as opposed to other units. Let's get this out of the way. The Hawkland long rifles are good, and I'll be doing a video on them soon. Having said that, the Ironsides start out as fairly accurate in their base form with a bit of extra enemy penetration, and quickly end up with a 145 range, 135 calibration distance sharpshooter unit that's murderously precise on even small footlords. Granted, handgunners start with more entities and hit pretty hard, but they're not this accurate. You needed high rank ones to take out footlords with sheer volume of firepower. More to the point, with the rate of fire debuff coming in from Warhammer 2, handgunners almost never run out of ammunition in a battle that isn't against multiple armies and or in a siege situation. They would die long before that point, or the battle would be won. How much is the lower ammunition of the Ironsides really going to matter? So yeah, if we're talking about whether Ironsides are better than handgunners and worth the extra price, I don't think there's any question. Yes, they are. So let's talk about the pros and cons a little to have a fair understanding. Pro: entity health is 104 as opposed to 69. Con: 60 entities means every entity lost hurts even more. Pro: extra armor and melee. Con: melee wipes out most of their utility regardless. Pro: range equal to handgunners. Con: range no greater than handgunners. Pro: passive provides laser-like accuracy. Con: only when you're standing still. So the Ironsides seem especially good at a type of fighting I've often done out of necessity or desire, a strong defensive position and forcing the enemy to come to you. either because of the artillery advantage or some other cause. In that role, the Ironsides will more than pay for themselves. They'll be clearly superior than Handgunners, and another factor you may see in this demo specifically, the armor matters when in a missile duel. They're not perfect, but they're not as easy to wreck by archers and crossbowmen style units. Still, they're also not Darkshires with shields or quarrelers, so don't get cocky. But the point is really this. In unit-on-unit fighting, the Ironsides will dish things out much like Handgunners, but you really notice the difference when you're trying to take out a particular lord or hero. That's when accuracy matters a ton. That's when you'll feel like you were crazy to ever leave Altdorf without them, aside from needing a tier 3 building to get them at all. So on that note, take care and have fun making Vlad's unlife miserable. You know they're gunning for him.